Yes, people. We are back. We are back live with another episode of the whole that show. This is episode 28. Right now it's halftime in the Man United game. Apologies, we had to do it a bit later than usual. Normally we're on a Friday, but we're on a Saturday today. Man United out here stinking again with two penalties. Them penalty merchants over there, but we'll talk about that next episode. But for today, we're gonna review last weekend. Maybe drizzle in a bit of Champions League and European football and some of the big news stories over the past week because it's been a big week. A lot of headlines have been made. But I'm your host Abdaliini. I'm gonna let my co-host introduce himself.
Yeah, man. It's Luke here, of course, representing First Sons today. One of our boys, his brand, his logo. So yeah, check the merch. It's looking nice. It fits good. It's comfy. So yeah, type in First Sons to get your merch on Discord. He didn't pay me to do this either. I'm just showing the boy some love. But yeah, man. Obviously, yeah, Liverpool. His momentum is building on and off the pitch. Obviously, we'll discuss off the pitch shortly. But yeah, we came, we saw, we conquered. On to the next. Man City's the big game tomorrow. So yeah, looking forward to that. But yeah, obviously it's a bit later than usual, but bear with us, guys. Obviously, life always takes its toll. So yeah, but yeah, back to me talking about the pod today on the games from last week. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A big week. But first, we gotta start on a sad note. Um, another day, and Poch is still in charge. So Chelsea fans, put your hands together for a moment of silence for our club. Anyway, I wanted to bring out some statistics. Some statistics. I had this saved, ready, and waiting for this bum. For this absolute bum. Now, before I bring out the statistics, we're going to start about the game. The game was a game of two halves. First half, cruising, comfortable. Brentford with no defense. The whole starting defense gone. The plan was good. The team was set up was perfect. Sure, we maybe could have made more of our chances, but Jackson, he's like Nunes. He only scores the hard ones. The easy tap-ins, no, that's not his cup of tea for some reason. That's not his cup of tea. But we get the 1-0 lead into half time. Now, I don't know what Pochettino says or does, but actively in the second half, we get worse and worse and worse. And I don't know if it's the players balling or him. Because then we decided, let's sit back. Let's hold this 1-0 lead like we're prime Jose Mourinho. Brentford smelt the blood. Then they were coming. Again and again. First goal, defensive errors, bad goalkeeping. Well, not bad goalkeeping, but defensive errors. The second one, I have never seen anything like it. This man tried to do that overhead kick 3 times. The third time, he flicks it up into the air. It's in the air for ages. I'm trying to think about, is someone going to go next to him? The defenders are closer to the goal than to him. They're pretty much 3 man in a goal. There might as well be 3 goalkeepers because there was no defenders around him. Man, watch the ball come down. Overhead kick, 2-1. And at this point, I thought we were going to lose. I started cheering on Brentford. Like I did Wolves back in the day. Like I was cheering on Brentford. I was like, you know what, finish this off because this is disgusting what I'm watching in the second half. This is absolutely disgusting. But we get back into it with a lovely, powerful header from Disasi. But it was his mistake for the first goal anyway. But he was poor during that game. And we come out of a draw. And maybe if there was more time, we could have won that game. But if buts, maybes, we should have won. Now, this has been systemic of our team throughout this season. A lot of people have been saying, what's the issue with Chelsea? Is it the players? Is it the manager? Is it the strategy for bringing in these young players? For me, the biggest issue right now is the manager. The second biggest issue is the the sporting directors, because I think their manager ID is terrible. So they need to get the next one right, because it's two for two. You're 2 for 2. You can't do the third one incorrect. Potter, great ideas, wrong squad, wrong players, and the wrong mentality. Poch, right squad, right players, great first half, but terrible mentality. Now, let's look at these statistics. First half so far this season. 26 games, 8 in the first half only. 8 wins, 15 draws, 3 losses. Plus 6 goal difference, 39 points. 7 points from the top, 2 points from top 4. That's our first half performance. If the table was just first half, we'd be on the verge of a top 4 race. That's just on the first pass performance. First half performance is how you initially set up and the players do their job. And they do their job. Second half is when the manager gets in. 8th in the table. The only teams better on than us are Man City, Aston Villa, Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, West Ham, Newcastle. Makes sense. I think they're better squads than us anyway, so they're generally be above us at this point. Same points as Brighton, but we got a game in hand. We win that game in hand, we get to 42. We're joint points with Arsenal in the first half table. Mad, right? Arsenal. Second half. 26 games, 6 draws. No, 6 wins, 6 draws, 14 losses, minus 5 goal difference. 24 points. Equal points to Luton Town. The only other teams that were worse than us are Burnley and Sheffield United. So the 3 teams below us in this table are relegation teams. In the second half, we are on relegation form. Now, when I saw this, I was like, wow. I looked, maybe, does this happen to other teams? Liverpool, 4th first half, 1st second half. Arsenal, 3rd first half, 2nd second half. Tottenham, 5th first half, 3rd second half. Man City, first half, they go to 4th. So yeah, that's why you see the drop off for them. But you look at most teams, they either go up by a couple or down by a couple. We go down by 9. By 9 places. We go from team that is fighting for something in the first half to a team that's going to be relegated in the second. Now you tell me if the players are bad. If they're doing their job in the first half. Because what's the second half about? As I said many a time. It's about tactics. It's about substitutions. And it's about mentality of the manager to want to win the game. Protecting the point against Burnley and them, man. Going too defensive too early against Man City. Only making 1 sub in 90 minutes in the final. The only issue I have with Stanley and these directors is their manager ID is crap. They lied to us. And he lied to us when he first came in. Now send his bag packing to Argentina, because I don't want to see his face again next season. This summer, the manager appointment needs to be right. And if it isn't, Bowley and them, man, you need to fire these directors. The only person in the backroom stuff that I'm keeping is Joe Shields, because his ID is immaculate. Joe Shields, I commend you. A lot of these ballers that we brought in that have been good, it's been on your back. Man is talking about Elise. Man's talking about Inaki Williams coming up. And those guys are balling out. In this because of this guy. Now our future depends on the manager. And with the moves that other teams are making, United with the Ineos, Liverpool with the news that we're going to talk about later, we can't afford to keep this manager any longer. He should have been gone months ago. This is pathetic. Anyway, I've got nothing else to say about my club for the rest of the season. Uh, all we have now is a cup run. Luckily, we have Leeds in the cup, so he's playing a team on his level, Championship. So he can beat Championship teams. He's done it the previous round. He can do it again. Is it no? Not Leeds, Leicester, whatever. It doesn't matter. Championship level team. Um, Semis. If we miss a big team and get the Coventry whatever game, that game, then we're through to the final. And you know what will happen in the final? We'll get Liverpool again and we'll lose. Or we'll get City and we'll lose. Or we'll get a big team and we'll lose. So hopefully we don't get a big team to the final. And maybe the final coffin can be that final when and on that tunnel, that Wembley tunnel, when he's walking up and he misses Bowley again. Bowley tells him, hey, come back. I got something for you. P45. Get out of my face. You're fired. That's what I want. I want Bowley to do it like in the front of everyone. I want people to the cameras to pick it up. Anyway, I got nothing more to say about my club. Luke Adonis, I don't need you to say anything about my club. I want us to be on a happy note. This is a happy show. This is the whole that show. This is about happiness. So, if you have anything to say, you can say a couple words. But we're gonna move on to your game, and I'm gonna let you start because a lot of things happened in your game, and a lot of things happened in the week for your club. So I want you to go in on the new details about the background of your club and how the future's looking bright over there. Because it's dark times over here, and it's happy times over there. Our lighting is different again. You got the dark light, I got the light time. We should be switching places because I'm in darkness right now. Give me some hope. Give me some hope of a football fan that knows what he's got coming up next.
I mean, the stats that you rolled out is a bit crazy. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad. But it does go to show you though, when you do deep it, that the coach sets the team out to go out to play a particular way in the first half. So clearly he is getting it right. It's just when they do get into the second half, what is he saying for the mentality to drop off that badly? That's what I want to know. Like, because as I said, you structure a team to go out on a pitch and play your way. And in the first half, Chelsea's proven that they are doing it. But the second half, the performance evidently drops. So clearly, he is saying something to them, which is allowing their mentality to drop like that. I enjoyed the game. I thought Chelsea played some brilliant football. There was some decent 1-2s going on, um, some good link-up play, and the football was quality. Obviously, in the second half, it deteriorated. So if we can see that first half from Chelsea that we always see, I've said this before. In the first half, Chelsea play fantastic football. I said it in the beginning, when Poch was here and starting and going, which is why I put Chelsea in the top four. The football that they play, when they get it right, is decent, is good football. But when they get it wrong, or when the mentality drops, and the errors come in, that's when we're like, okay, this is the real Chelsea. But I think if Chelsea can grab hold of those first half minutes and take it into the remainder of the game, their fortune could be different. It's just about whether they want it or not, whether they're hungry. Evidently, he isn't the right man for the job. Again, I'll say this every time when we talk about your team. I was wrong in saying that he was. And I'll take the L on that one. I'll take the L on the fact that you guys ain't making top four, although I predicted you guys to do it. It's sad. It is sad to see Chelsea fall the way that they have. I can't stand their racist fans and I can't stand the racist club, but at the same time, I like the players that they got in there. They got decent players in there. They got nice potential players that are potential to be special. FIFA reference. And for me, I feel like with the right manager, they can unlock so much talent in that team. It's unbelievable. All they need to do is just take a couple puzzles out and replace them with a bit more quality, and Chelsea will be in the top four. But as Margie rightfully said, it's the manager profile, and they just need to make it right. Because Potter, I personally didn't think Potter was the right appointment when they named Potter as the guy. I just think there's just certain managers that need to stay at mid-table because they're not good enough to make the next step. And the fact that he's rumored to be on a shortlist for Manchester United just says alone what Ineos is doing over there, because that just doesn't make sense. The fact Gareth Southgate's on that shortlist as well, I don't know what they're doing over there in Manchester United, to be honest. Um, but for me, I just feel like Graham Potter was never going to be the right fit. The reason why I said Pochettino would is because, as I said, I felt like he had a point to prove, because he was always that nearly man, in the sense of he nearly won a trophy. He could have got this, he could have got that, but never got to that next step because Daniel Levy wasn't willing to spend the money. Evidently, the money has been spent, but whether it's the players that Pochettino want, which I've said they aren't the players that he wants, I think sometimes you just need to be man enough as a manager to accept that decisions are being made for you, and you just need to work with what you got, because that's what the best of managers does. They just work with what they got and try to turn the players that they don't fancy, turn them into world class players. That is your job. That's your responsibility as a manager. So, you know, him choosing not to do that, play players out of position, not playing the right formation, walking past Todd Bowley like that goes to show that he wasn't happy with Todd Bowley, because he's got players that he's just not happy with. If that's the case, then leave, my G, because Todd Bowley looks like he doesn't have a Scooby Doo of football anyway, but he's showing that he's not gonna go anywhere. He's gonna be their owner for years to come. So it's either you go or he goes, and he's staying. So you're gonna have to go, I'm afraid, and they're gonna have to bring in a manager profile that can work with the young G's that they got. Maybe a Zidane, because most of their team is French, so maybe Zidane might be good. But we all know he came out with a report saying the only three clubs he's gonna manage is Real Madrid, Marseille, and France. So he's been ruled out. Diego Simeone might be good, that his style of football is sort of a mirror image of Jose Mourinho in terms of a shithousery 2.0. That's old school Chelsea. Maybe he might get the best out of Chelsea, and then there's other up and coming guys like the Zerbi and the Sporting Lisbon guys. So, you know, the as I said, the potential's there in the Chelsea squad. They just need that right manager to come in and just utilize the talent, because the talent that they got is second to none. And I think when you compare Chelsea's squad against not my team and not City's team and not Arsenal's team, but the other teams, I think their squad is just as good as the other teams in and around them. They're better than Manchester United's squad. They're levels with Tottenham. They're there with Newcastle. They're there with West Ham. They're there with Aston Villa. I think Chelsea right now is underachieving, in my opinion, and I think, as I said, the correct manager profile should get them to where they should be next season. But yeah, moving on to my team though. Obviously, yeah, my team managed to scrape one against Nottingham Forest. I'm open and honest to accept that we should have lost. Elanga had so many chances, and if a better baller, not to say Elanga's not a baller because he is, but if a better baller in terms of finisher wise was in those positions, we would have been slapped at least 3-0. And I'm honest to accept that we managed to escape that, but again, it goes championship mentality. You need to have that mentality to ride it out, and you need to be able to dig deep. Evidently, we're tired. That game proved how tired we were. That game proved that we're down to the bare bones in terms of players. Um, and I'm happy that a couple of the guys are starting to return back into the squad now, because if we did lose that Nottingham Forest, I would have been fuming. Um, Especially knowing that players are now starting to return from injuries. So the fact that we won that game, knowingly that players are returning back, and we got Man City, this is a chance for us to just kick Man City out of the title race completely. And then City's got Arsenal shortly as well. So if we could beat Man City, then Man City could take their anger out on Arsenal. And then that's a puzzle, a domino effect of us eventually just, if we can maintain winning our games, then we could actually win the league if we do that. Um, we just need to hope that people who are facing against Arsenal and City are going to do their job and actually knock off points against them. But yeah, man, we managed to get the goal. I personally don't think. Yes, it was the wrong call in terms of drop ball, but then when you deep it, Konate had a head injury, and the whistle wasn't blown for that. Aren't highlighting that he was on the floor for a while, and the referee didn't blow for that, and that's a head injury. When it's a head injury, you need to be blowing the whistle straight away. Secondly, yeah, the drop ball got given to us, but the drop ball no way in shape or form influenced the goal. There was 2 minutes before the goal actually happened. So people who are complaining that Nottingham Forest got screwed or XYZ, or that's the reason why we scored. No, it wasn't, because 2 minutes of play was going on before we actually scored the goal. So it was no relevance. Even Dermot Gallagher said the exact same thing. Former referee, head of referees, said Liverpool's goal was not influenced by the drop ball. There was no way, shape, or form any relevance there. So dry your eyes and move on to the next game. We got our 3 points. You didn't capitalize on your chances that you had. Let's move on now and move on to the next game. It's as simple as that. It was a brilliant ball by McAllister into Darwin Núñez, fantastic goal, and fair play. You know, Darwin Núñez scored a good goal against Nottingham Forest, and he scored bangers against Sparta Prague. And as Margie rightfully said, my guy don't know tappings. My man only knows bangers, because those two bangers that he scored, I did not think he had that in his locker. That was unbelievable in the Europa League. So my team right now are on a good momentum, and as I said, they're on good momentum off the pitch as well, with the news that Michael Edwards is obviously going to be returning. And it's coincidental that now that Jurgen Klopp is leaving, he's happy to return, which basically means that them two didn't get on. And it's evident that they didn't get on, because there was rumors that Michael Edwards actually didn't want to give Jordan Henderson a new contract. He didn't want to give James Milner a new contract. There were certain guys that he actually wanted to get rid of because he knew that they were stale and they were going to drain Liverpool's team. But it was Jurgen Klopp who said, no, let's give Henderson a new 4-year deal. Let's renew James Milner's contract. Bum ass guys that was rotting our midfield for years, bruv. Years. Last season is because of James Milner and
Yeah,
Jordan Henderson.
yeah,
So, in that respect, I'm glad that Jurgen Klopp is going, because his sentimental mentality is just going to be the end of this club. The end of this club. If he kept on going, this is the same brother that said that he's fighting to keep Joel Matip. Why are you fighting to keep Joel Matip? He's injury prone and he's 32. Why? Just get rid. So for me, one person going out, which is fine. Thank you for the memories. But the guy who knows how to restructure my club and has been restructuring the club, he brought in gems: Sadio Mane, Salah, Fabinho, Van Dijk, gems, Robertson, gems, Firmino, gems. His was attacking talent. Eye for talent. Jurgen Klopp or Julian Brandt, Mario Götze, guys that he trusted, but they probably wouldn't even hack it because they're not even hacking it now. Have you heard of Julian Brandt, what he's doing now? Have you heard what Mario Götze is doing now? No,
yeah,
you haven't. So I'm glad that the originator of of structure, the originator of structure of why clubs right now are saying Liverpool and City are the blueprint of how to structure a club correctly. The Don Dada is returning back to my team. He rejected Chelsea, he rejected Real Madrid, he rejected Manchester United, and now he's coming back home. He's coming back home with Richard Hughes leaving Bournemouth, who he knows very well, and he's going to be a sporting director. Everything is falling into place. All we need now is a solid manager to come in, and the future is bright at Liverpool. There's people that were worried because Klopp's leaving. I was never worried. Never worried. Because ultimately, the squad that we have right now should not be dissembled. There's a reason why Klopp is playing these young guys. There's a reason why. Because number one, it inflates their price if we need to sell them on and get profit from to go out and buy. Or number two, it means that if we need any rotational pieces, these men have already got Premier League experience in the bag in abundance. So they can just be on the bench and do rotation. And a new manager that's coming in can see what sort of talent he has, potentially sell them on, as I said, or utilize the talent. So it only means that any money that we have, he can go out and get one or two puzzles, one or two players, just to make the squad look decent and then crack on again. Next season, I expect Liverpool to be challenging. The structure's there. We've got the guys now. There should be no worries. We just need the manager, and we should be back at the top again next season. So everything is good. Everything is good. You know, as I said, obviously United's got their restructure going on. Liverpool's got their restructure going on. Pep Guardiola's still there, but their fine is gonna be coming thick and fast. So I don't know about them man there. Obviously Arsenal's got their structure there. As Margie rightfully said, Chelsea needs to get their act together because they don't want to get left behind. They don't want to get left behind. They don't. Not to say that Manchester United is gonna be there. Hell no. I don't think they will be there. It's gonna take them time to get there. But Chelsea need to get this appointment right. They need to because the squad is there. They just need a few signings and they just need a world class manager. And then we will both be talking about Chelsea up there with Arsenal, Liverpool, City. No doubt. No doubt. So summer is important for most of the clubs this season. But in regards to my team and the week that we've had, I'm happy about that. And I'm looking forward to this summer because we're making money moves right now and we're making moves before this season ends. And that's what I want to see. Preparations are in place. So well done to Liverpool for that. And that's all I got to say.
Yeah, man, Liverpool making big moves. I was upset by that because Michael Edwards is kind of one of those guys that any club would benefit from. And yeah, I think that's the thing. I think the structure nowadays in modern day football is the big thing. It's structure, it's the manager, it's their formation, it's the players you bring in, the gems, right? That's how Brighton have got to this place. That's how Newcastle need to move because teams don't have the money that they used to have, and now teams are just focused on bringing in players. And a lot of people are talking about what Chelsea have done in terms of signings, but I think for all the players that you would say are not ready yet, in a couple years' time, 3, 4 years' time, they're gonna be ready. And a lot of these young gems that we have, if we can get a better system in terms of our loan system, in terms of our decision making and management, I think Chelsea in the future will be a good team. It has a brighter future at this point than most clubs. In terms of the team we talk about next, Man United, I think their future is looking okay, but the one thing that needs to be replaced, and it might be even a conversation for Arsenal if they don't win anything this season, is their manager. Now, big game last weekend, the Manchester Derby, and I've never seen a Man United team play so soft, so weak, defend like their lives. They were playing like they were prime Burnley, and I'm not talking modern day Burnley. I'm talking about Sean Allardyce Burnley. I'm talking about every man back, old school style, rough and tough, defending for their lives. But Man City just weared and teared them now. Now, in terms of the game, Rashford's first goal, banger. Um, they did have a lot of counter attacking opportunities, but Man United's attackers were willful. Rashford messed up a couple chances, and then the second half, City just grind them down. City had 28 shots, United had 27% possession. They were grinding them, grinding them, grinding them until Philip Foden said, "Come outside, Star Boys, I'm here. Cometh the man, cometh the hour, cometh the player." And Foden hit two bangers. He hit two bangers, and the whole red side of Manchester cried. And then Amrabat, the spicy Andrew Tate, that Moroccan booty shaker, came on and gave Haaland a gift from the gods. Man gave him a gift. Man said, you know what? 2-1, that's a bit too nice of a score for our team today, you know? Have a third. Haaland said, nom 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 nom. And all the FBL with him as captain were cheering in the. Yes! Thank you, Amrabat. Stay there forever. But statistics. Ten Hag. Man United haven't had lost 13 games by Christmas since 1930. Man United hadn't gone 4 games in a row without scoring since 1992. Thank you, Ten Hag. Man United hadn't finished the bottom of their UCL group since 2006. Thank you, Ten Hag. Man U hadn't lost back-to-back games against West Ham since 2007. Thank you, Ten Hag. No Manchester United manager has conceded 20 goals to Liverpool and City in their first 7 games against them. Since Alfred Albert in the 1800s. That's 2 decades. Thank you, Ten Hag. Man United have never finished with a few as 5 points in the CL group. In the group stages of the CL. Thank you, Ten Hag. No English club has ever conceded 15 goals in the group stage. Thank you, Ten Hag. Man United have never lost 4 of those 6 group stage games in the competition's history. Thank you, Ten Hag. Man United have never failed to keep a clean sheet in 5 of those 6 games in the history. Thank you, Ten Hag. Man United have never lost 12 of their opening 23 games of a Premier League season. Thank you, Ten Hag.
Oh my god. This
Bournemouth-
is worse than Ollie.
Bournemouth have never won at Old Trafford. Thank you, Ten Hag. Until they face Ten Hag. Bournemouth have never scored 3 goals at Old Trafford. Thank you, Ten Hag. Bournemouth had never kept a clean sheet at Old Trafford. Thank you, Ten Hag. Man, you have never lost 7 of their opening 16 games. Thank you, Ten Hag. Man, you hadn't lost back-to-back league games against Newcastle since 1972. Thank you, Ten Hag. Man United haven't lost 3 games in a row to Newcastle since 1922. Thank you, Ten Hag. Newcastle have kept 3 clean sheets in a row against Man United. The first time they've done that since 1897. That's a decade. Man United have never lost 6 of the opening 14. And no English team has ever conceded 14 goals in the first 5 games of the group stage. They've done that. Never conceded 3+ goals in 4 different CL games in a season. Thank you, Ten Hag. Never lost a game where they were leading by 2 goals. Never lost a game by leading by 2 goals. Thank you, Ten Hag. Man United hadn't lost a game while they were leading by 2+ goals since 2014. Thank you, Ten Hag. Man United have never dropped this many points from a winning position in CL history. This season. They've never conceded 4+ goals in 2 group stage games. They did it this season. 9 of the opening 17 since 1974. And to be honest, it keeps going. I'm gonna lie, I've been we're gonna be here all day if I keep going with these with these statistics.
Mad.
Yeah, there's a few more, but all this to say is, if Man United need to move forward, Ten Hag needs to go, because he is the worst point blank period manager for Man United in their history at this stage. Now, is it his fault? No, because he's dealing with players from about 5, 6 managers ago. They still have players from Moyes. They still have players from Mourinho. They still have players from Van Gaal. They still have players from Olibu. And Oli said it himself on the interview. He should have never signed CR7. But a blind man could have told you that. Stevie Wonder could have told you that. Sancho, bad signing. He's a man that doesn't go past players. He can't work in the wing as a winger in the Premier League, and the cam position is dead. So another failed signing because of your lack of scouting. What we've learned about Man United is the lack of scouting. That man said get Haaland 3 times in a row, and they said no each time. And look what's Haaland doing to you now. Man's wrapping you up in a zubi and saying good night. Man United under Ten Hag have committed crimes against football with the football they've been playing this season. The Harambe stuff. Yeah. When we talk about Al Qaeda and ISIS and them man, they got pictures up of Tuchel and Ten Hag together. Them are the ringleaders of this. They've turned Bayern Munich and Man United into joke clubs. Bayern Munich out here getting dusted by Bayern Leverkusen. And you know what Bayern Leverkusen is called in their league? Bayern Loserkusen. Because they never win. But they're winning this season.
Fan.
And Ten Hag, wow. Even Oli never played this defensive in a big game against City. He won these games. He played counter-attacking football, but he knew, I can't win going toe-to-toe, but I'll counter-attack every time I got. Ten Hag, he didn't. Man decided to take the second half to come out and play, and then lost it. And defended most of the game. As I said, 27% possession. This is a big club. This is a big six clash. That's how much percent of possession you want. You got that one goal. You moved like you know what you moved like? You moved like Southgate in that final. when they get that one goal and then they just defend for the rest of the life. City broke you down. City beat you up. You know what they did? They came around, hit you with 1-2 piece. They came back around again, hit you another 2 piece. They waited a week, spanned the block again, hit you with another 2 piece, and said, "Yeah, man." United right now aren't even safe in their own ends. Manchester, it's a shame. The biggest club in England has allowed their city to be infested by blue. Imagine if Liverpool. This is like Liverpool doing this with Everton. Now, in terms of the game, yeah, man, not great, not great watching, not great viewing. It was a very boring game. It was just City dominance, and watching it shows me that City is going to be a hard team to defeat to the title. But at the same time, I think Liverpool and Arsenal can look at that game and say, if we can counter-attack them the way United did and get our players in those positions, we can win that game. And I think it gives hope to Liverpool and Arsenal how many times United broke away. There was about 10 times in that matches where United had chances if they had better attackers to get signed. So I think the game tomorrow, Liverpool, if they can counter and have opportunities to get behind that high line, I think City defensively are very weak and are get at elbow in terms of you can beat them with their counter. You've seen Chelsea do it. You've seen a bummy United do it. So the Liverpool City game is going to be very interesting. What players are back, who's playing where, and how they're going to set up, because that's going to be a very, very interesting game tomorrow. But in terms of the City United, yeah, man, it was just a one-sided game, and Rashford hit a wonder strike. But he did nothing for the rest of the game, and there was a point where he was running through, and man was back healing it like it was Nicholas Jackson, you know, man was trying to dribble with the ball, it was dribbling, he was going that way, the ball was going the other way. So overall, not much else to say, but Man United, the statistics aren't looking good, the team isn't looking good, and for your future of your club, I think Ineos needs to bring They're bringing in the right pieces of structure. They need to get their DOF, just like Liverpool with Edwards, and bringing a manager to bring in new fresh air and change. The one thing United need to do is what we did last summer: clean house, clean absolute house. The one thing I would say about the social interview, it said a lot about these players. Players saying they don't want to do up interviews because they're scared about how their words are going to be misconstrued. Players not wanting to put on the captain armband in the big games because they don't want to be the leaders of that club. Players in the moment that Ollie thought, you know what, this is now or never. If you want to stay on and fight for me, stay on. If not, put your hand up, I can change you. Certain man weren't about that life. And we know who these men are. I'm not going to name names. It's not my place. But we know who they are. We see it with our own eyes of the players that aren't willing to be captains, aren't willing to be leaders, aren't willing to fight for that badge, that big red devil badge. Stuff for Allah, but still in it, Red Devil, I would never join that club. Yeah. But Man United's fan base have been let down by ownership for years, and I think with the fresh air of Ineos, they need to clean house. Get rid of a lot of these players, most of them. Get rid of the manager and start completely blank fresh. You need to be doing this summer a car boot sale with your players, 5-10 million a pop. Any contracts that are running out this summer, let them go. I don't care if it's Varane, Casemiro, whoever it is, just clean house, freshen it up. Only keep the youngsters and only keep a select few guys. Amrabat, don't sign him. Varane, Casemiro, let them go. Let them enjoy retirement. They don't deserve this. Harry Maguire, let him go. Rashford, let him move on if he wants to do Shaku and DBE in Dortmund or something. Or, let him start his rap career. Bruno Fernandes, don't take the armband off him. Have him as a rotation piece, but not the main guy. He ain't a cam. He's erratic, wild, and all he does is roll around and score penalties. It's not good enough. The defense needs a refresh. The goalkeeper can stay because I think if you put the right players around him, he can be a quality player. And you've seen it in recent weeks that if it wasn't for him against City, it would have been 7-8-1 because he's been good. I think he's probably one of the best bits of business you've done in recent in terms of people hate on him, but he's got distribution and he's a good goalkeeper. He just needs the defense in front of him to be solid and to be available. So left back, right back needs to change. Midfield needs a restructure. Attack needs a whole heap. Everything from the whole team needs to be redone, rebooted, restart. Bring in a new manager. Give him 5 years. Give him 5 years. 3 years to rebuild the team and 2 years to win. Because that's how long it's going to take with the way Man United are. You need 3 years to get rid of all the scrubs. All the scrubs. Because with their wages, you may have to let their contracts run out. You may have to tell them verbatim, either you're going to be up doing home deliveries, Uber Eats all day a week. Yeah, you're not going to be seeing the pitch. You're not going to be seeing the Carabao. You're not going to be seeing the FA Cup. You're not going to be seeing any European football. No football for the rest of your contract, or rip them contracts up. Because for me, a lot of these players are not worthy to be playing for a top team. They are middle of the road relegation fodder at best. And what United need to do is look around and look at all the talented young English players that you can find and bring them in. Bring them all in and start from the roots. And look at all the young talent that you can bring back as well. And focus on bringing in ballers. Have a structure. Replace your scouts because them man are fools. Replace everything from top to bottom and start again because that's what that club needs to do. Because these stats are frightening, and I'm managers one problem, but the players are just as big as a problem to these stats. Especially considering some of these players weren't even willing to play for a club legend like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. they're doing the same thing to Ten Hag. They're downing tools. They're not fighting for the man. And just because they're winning today, I don't care. They're a bummy ass club anyway. Luke, what you got to say?
I mean, United could only do what they can do. They don't have the attacking players to attack Man City, and they don't have the defensive players to defend against Man City. So they either do or they don't. Like it's as simple as that. Like it's either attack and get battered because you're gonna get exposed with the lack of intelligence on the pitch to cover the gaps, or you're gonna eventually you're gonna get worn down, which is what happened, and then you're gonna get battered anyway defensively because you allowed City to have the ball for too long. So they were screwed regardless. It was just a matter of how much the defeat was gonna be. Let's be real. I think the chances that they did have to counter attack, yeah, Rashford's goal was good. But that's the problem with Rashford. Rashford can always come up with brilliance after he chats shit to the media. But when they need you to be accountable, when they need you to stand up and be accountable and actually tell the haters, fuck you, you didn't deliver. Because the amount of chances that you did have to actually make it 2-0 before City eventually clawed one back and then obviously went on to win the game, you didn't. The chance, the biggest chance that came to you from out wide when he was in the box and you had the opportunity to either square it to, I think either Fernandez or McTominay was in the box, or to actually follow through, you allowed the ball to bounce and you miskicked the ball and it went underneath your foot. It's moments like that where you're meant to stand up and actually score the goal, because then people wouldn't be chatting about you if you had scored that goal. But the fact that you scored the wonder goal, people will never dispute Rashford's ability, because Rashford does have ability. You don't score like that, those types of goals, out of a whim, out of pure luck. You don't, because Rashford has been doing that over his career in Manchester United. The issue with Rashford is he turns it on and off. That's the problem. He's not consistent with it. He's not slugging away throughout the whole game, because throughout that whole game he was just strolling on the pitch. He was jogging, he was walking. He wasn't pressing at all. And the only time that he wanted to be influential was in that goal, or when it was a counter attack and he mistimed the ball and the ball went behind him. There were so many opportunities for him to silence his doubters, and he didn't silence them. If anything, the doubters grew louder because they were like, okay, well, you scored this banger, but you was ghost for the remaining 90 minutes. And that's the problem with this whole Manchester United team. From top to bottom, they pick and choose when they want to perform. Yeah, it's all fair and well that they're performing today, but you needed to perform today, because you can't get dismantled like that against Man City and then go into the next game and get battered. So you had to perform in this game. And again, it just proves my point. Now, when I'm analyzing that whole game, City are there for the taking. How many times have I come on this pod and I said if teams attack them, they do not know what to do? Those simple, quick counter attacks that Manchester United did was with players that are not good enough. Imagine when Liverpool and Arsenal play against them. Liverpool's one of the best, if not the best, transitional team when it comes to counter attacks. No one's better than us. So imagine a team like us being in those positions. It's game over. All Liverpool need to do is attack these bums. Haaland was silent throughout the whole game. Haaland did not do nothing. Man, them out here on the net was getting gassed, saying Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland was bossing it in midweek. Yeah, it's against Luton, who Liverpool slapped. Luton's getting slapped left, right, and centre. Of course. But coincidentally, them man were juicing up Luton, 4 assists, 5 goals, but ran out of juice when it came to fucking Manchester United. De Bruyne and Haaland was ghosts. They was not influential in that game. They were silent. Silent. And that's against Manchester United. They're coming to our ground, Anfield, one of the best stadiums, one of the best atmosphere in football, in sports history. Let's be real. And you mean to tell me that we need to fear Man City when they were getting crumbled by Manchester United on a counter attack with bum-ass players? You know it's chalk and cheese because moving aside from this bum-ass Manchester United game, because there's nothing that I need to say that I haven't already said and that you haven't already said. Manchester United are bums. They're going to be bums. They're going to finish this season as bums, and they're going to be in the summer as bums. And regardless of the appointment that they have in management, their team's still going to be bums because they've got bum-ass players that they're going to find difficult to get rid of. So whoever comes in, good luck to you, bro, because that's going to be at least 6 managers who's come in and still have had the same amount of players who's played for every single manager that stepped in. And what's the common denominator? The players. And the players are still remaining. So it doesn't matter what Ineos does. It does not matter what they do. United are done. They're buried in the water. And the fact that they're still up in the table where they're at is such a fluke. And they do not deserve it. It's a mockery to the Premier League that they're where they're at because they're shocking. The stats that you just rolled off the tongue, why they're there in that position, potentially fighting for top 4, I do not know. But they're bums. I don't even want to talk about them. Right now, the fact that Trent said what he said and certain Man City players are rattled the way that they are, yeah, that's mind games right there. That's mind games. Mind games from my vice captain. Because my man was only speaking facts. It does mean more. It means more the trophies that we won than Man City won. How are people talking about Liverpool's Carabao Cup win, but they're not talking about your treble? How? How is it that when you guys went to go on your parade, you probably only had 10,000 people there? Probably even less than that. No atmosphere. Dead. But when we won our Carabao Cup, you saw the atmosphere. You saw the energy. You saw what our team was doing. So Trent was right. It means more. And the slogan is actually in Liverpool Stadium. It means more. So the fact that these City fans are rattled the way that they are, yeah, I love that energy. And I want them to be rattled because it means when they come up against Anfield and they come to Anfield, it means that they're not actually going to be sitting back. They're going to attack. And Liverpool thrives off of teams attacking them because they're just going to pick them off one by one. Find that pockets of space, and we got Darweezy ready, charging. We got Mohamed Salah's coming back, and that goal that he scored wasn't even offside. So again, poor refereeing decision against my team again in Europe this time. But that's fine because he's juiced up and ready to go against Man City. So yeah, I can't wait for this game over on the weekend because it's game, set, and match. I expect my team to dominate and I expect my team to win. I do not fear Man City. I've never feared Man City, and I think people need to understand that Man City isn't the same team that they were a few years ago. They're not. They got rid of Mahrez for what reason I do not know. They got rid of Gundogan for what reason I do not know. They got rid of Sterling for what reason I do not know. So many man them that they have got rid of who actually helped their team last season, and they got rid of them. They brought in Doku, who doesn't know what to do when he comes up against fast players. Gusto, lockdown. Reece James, lockdown. Connor Bradley's gonna be exact same thing, lockdown. Who else is there? Kovacic. What's man doing? Mateus Nunes. What's man doing? bringing in, replacing world class players with these bums. These bums.
Kovacic ain't a bomb. Respect him.
Yeah, Kovacic wasn't a bum for you, but he's a bum at Man City. It's as simple as that. He's not being utilized correctly. They're telling
Yeah,
Man, yeah, to play the Gundogan role when he can't play the
yeah, he
Gundogan
can't.
role. That's not his style. That's not what he does. So I do not fear Man City, and this game needs to come sooner rather than later, because ultimately it pissed me off watching that Man United game. It did, because to me, if United was good enough, they could have won that game, and we would be sitting there saying, yeah, Man City soft. But right now we're sitting here saying that Man City, oh, they were good, they wore them down, there was good possessional play. Yeah, because they had the ball to do that against Liverpool, Arsenal. Even fuck it, even Chelsea. It was 4-4 when Chelsea went at them. Because Chelsea knew, okay, we're not that good defensively. The best form of defense is attack. And what happened? City were rattled. And this is a Chelsea team under a manager that's starved. So imagine that. Chelsea making it 4-4. United counter-attacking at will with ease. Nah, nah, nah. City's not a threat. City's not a threat, and people need to understand this. And if Liverpool beat them tomorrow, that will prove what I'm saying right now is correct. That they're not a
Yeah,
threat,
that's what we want. The energy's high. I like that. I like that.
and that's all I gotta say.
I like that. I can't wait. Whatever happens, I'm on your ass. If you win, we're praising you. If you lose, these quotes are gonna come back to bite you in the bum. Anyway,
That's fine.
one more fact. Galatasaray hadn't won a game on English soil in 117 years of existence
Flipping hell.
till they beat Man United. Thank you, Ten Hag. I just needed to add that one. Anyway, good win today for United. 2 penalties. You know that's what they do best. Penalty merchants. But
Bums.
but my team are playing Newcastle on Monday. Monday night football. And yeah, man, I'm not looking forward to it. At this stage of the season, we just need to win games. We can't afford to draw. Draws aren't good enough. No matter what Pochettino said last week, oh, it was a good draw after there was 3 games and blah 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 blah. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Every point we drop is us further and further away from what we need is Europa League minimum. Champions League is out of reach. Even if top 5 is Champions League, we're not getting that. Europa League is in with reach, but you need to start winning games. Draws do not help us. We need to win every game till the rest of the season. I don't care who we're facing. I don't care if it's Arsenal. I don't care if it's Barcelona. I don't care if it's Bayern Munich. I don't care. I don't care if it's another team came from another league and came in our league and playing us. We need to win. We need a cup run. We need to get to that final, and we need to win every game for the rest of this season, this Premier League season. Because your time is coming up, and in order for you to 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 stay in this job, you need to start winning. Because the moment it is mathematically impossible for us to get Europe, the moment you get knocked out in the FA Cup, probably in the semi-final, if you come up against a team better than ours, it's lights out, curtains, gone. And Pochettino, he ain't gonna get another good job anytime soon. Like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, no jobs. Anyway, it's been another great episode of the Whole That Show. We are live today. Man United won, 2 penalties up, but you know, I'll watch that game back and see how they played. I reckon they were bummy because they're still bums. But big game tomorrow, City Liverpool. It's gonna be an interesting watch. I'm gonna be watching that, chilling. And one last thing. Oh yeah, Brighton got slapped against Roma. Just gotta add that. Hold that, Brighton. Hold that Villa for not winning in your Conference League. You man are in the Conference League and still can't win. Hold that. Hold that United for losing to City. hold out my club for not winning, and yeah, hold that to all the teams that lost over the European weekend and the Premier League last week. Because this is the hold that show. It's been another episode. Chelsea are still bummy, Poch out, and we are